In the photo, it looks, Dr. Ahmed, that you're dreaming about artificial intelligence and the future of it, right? Is that correct assessment of me?
This is my talk.
The poster here, the
Uh-huh.
the photograph that you have, we have a few here. Are you dreaming
Ah.
about artificial intelligence and the bright future that we have? Is that what it is?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, okay. So I'm not guessing it wrong, I guess then.
Thank you so much. Yes, we are dreaming.
That's good. That's good. So,
Yes,
Professor Abu
yes.
Sufyan, I think we can start at 7:05, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's get
Okay.
started.
Okay, sir. Sharik sir, I have made you co-host,
Okay,
so
good.
you need to allow those who are in waiting room.
Yes, yes, I'm doing that.
Okay, okay, sir. Assalamu alaikum and a very warm good evening, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed yesterday's session. I am Abu Sufyan, Assistant Professor at School of Pharmacy of Anjuman-e-Islam Kalsikar Technical Campus, New Panvel. Extend my warm welcome to all dignitaries, resource person, faculty members, participants from different colleges to day 2 of 1 week AICTE-ISTE sponsor refresher program on multidisciplinary and translational drug development with sub-theme of AI in healthcare. To start with, as a tradition of Anjuman Islam, I will recite and translate few verses from Holy Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض حونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. The translation of this verse from Holy Quran is, and the servant of gracious God are those who walk on the earth in dignified manner, and when ignorant address them, they say peace. So this verse was from Surah Al-Furqan of Holy Quran. Indeed, it is worth implementing in our life. Yesterday, we had two very excellent and engaging sessions. The first session was conducted by Dr. Saida Tanveer, Chief Scientist, Medical Sieve Radiology, Grand Challenge, Al Madan Research Center, St. Joe's, California, USA. She discussed about role of artificial intelligence in diagnosis and for better decision making by the physician. Whereas the second session of the day one was conducted by Dr. Richa Mishra, Associate Professor, University of Mumbai. During her session, she briefed about her experience of protein structure prediction in autistic children with machine learning and its application in drug development. Going ahead, today we have very interesting session on leveraging AI for better health. For this session, we have with us eminent resource person Dr. Ahmed A. Ingar. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed is working as assistant professor at Faculty of Computer and Artificial Intelligence, Beni Suef University, Beni Suef City, Egypt. He is founder and chair of Scientific Innovation Research Group of Egypt. He is also assistant professor of Faculty of Science, Al Azhar University. He has written many books, chapters, and published many articles in national and international journals. With this brief introduction, I extend my warm welcome to Dr. Ahmed and request him to start with his session. Dr. Ahmed, it is over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sheikh Abu Sif. I'm really so happy to be with all of you. So I'm really, I can't express my feelings now, but really I'm so happy, really. Okay, so let me share first my presentation.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, good evening, everywhere you are, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's really my pleasure to be with all of you now. So first of all, I'd like to thank all my friends and all the team of this organization or and the all this or the conference, and to invite me to be part of this conference. And second of all, I would like to ask all of you to take care of yourself and be safe from COVID-19 during this pandemic period of time. And we need to pray to ask Allah to remove this virus from all around the world. Thirdly, I would like to introduce myself, but Dr. Abusif, he really introduced me, but let me give some brief about myself. My name is Dr. Ahmed Al-Naggar. I'm assistant professor, faculty of computers and artificial intelligence, Bani Swift University. I'm a founder and chairman of Scientific Innovation Research Group. I'm also visiting professor at Faculty of Computers and Engineering at Sharda University. And also I'm a co-director of International Ranking Office, Bani Swift University. I'm a director of Technological and Informatics Studies Center, Bani Swift University. I'm a director of Bani Swift University Electronic Board. I'm a IEEE member of Bani Swift section. I'm also managing editor of Journal of Cybersecurity and Information Management. I'm also associate professor, editor of International Journal of Informatics, Media, and Communication Technology, Bani Swift University. Let me give you my outline. So my presentation divided into two parts. First part, I will introduce in brief my university, Bani Swift University. The second part, I will give you brief and introduction about my topic. It's under the title, Adapting New Technologies to Avoid COVID-19 as an Effective Acceleration of Digital Health. So I will give some background about the COVID, and I will give how to avoid this COVID-19. So I will talk about the artificial intelligence. Then I will talk about the blockchain. After that, I will give a brief about the Internet of Things, because these all considered as new technologies. We will use it. We must use it in this period of time of COVID-19. And finally, I will give you a conclusion about my talks. Let me start about to the first part, introducing my Bani Swift University. This is my buildings of Bani Swift University, my university. But where we are, the localization of Bani Swift University. If you can see here, and this is the map of the world. If you ask, I want to go to Egypt. So, okay, now you are in Egypt. After that, you can ask how to go to Bani Swift City. You can find it in my heart here. After you are now in Bani Swift City, you can ask, how can I go to Bani Swift University? You will be there and you will be smile, and we all proud of you if you are visit my university. So welcome to my university. About Bani Swift University, as you know, Cairo University established its branch in Bani Swift City in 1981. Bani Swift University was established as a standalone now based on the presidential decree in 2005 and resigned from the prestige of Cairo University. The president of Bani Swift University is Dr. Prof. Dr. Mansour Hassan. He is a president of Bani Swift University from Faculty of Medicine, Bani Swift University, Bani Swift City, Egypt. My university includes more than 33 faculties. So really, it's very, very, very big university. Maybe in the Middle East, I think, because we have 33 faculties at this moment. And now it's 34 faculties till now. So faculty of computers and artificial intelligence, commerce, law, arts, science, education, medicine, nursing, engineering, physical education, and so on. And we have a lot of new programs, special programs in these faculties. So about this facilities, so Bani Swift University include more than 82,000 undergraduate and postgraduate students who enrolled in 75 undergraduate programs and 336 postgraduate programs, 87 diploma, 118 master, 151 PhD programs. In addition, Venezuela University has valuable and promising components in the terms of the material resources of structure, buildings, and lands, and the place, because it's in you can find it in the River Nile, so it's really have a good view. It's have an amount of to total acres almost 636 acres, so very, very, very big university. If you want to know more about the Venezuela University, you can visit the website or you can contact with me. I can give you more and more and more. Now let us move to the second part of my presentation. I will talk about the pandemic COVID-19 and the future technologies. So let me give some definition. It's very, very important definition. You know, the outbreak is a small diseases but unusual. You need to differentiate between the three concepts because we know where we are. So this is a small diseases but unusual is called outbreak. So by tracking diseases over time, and the geography specialists learn to predict how many cases of illness should normally happen within the defined period of time, places, and the population. But epidemic is a bigger and spreading diseases. So an epidemic is outbreak over large geographic areas, but pandemic is an international disease and out of control. So I'm so sorry, we are now in a pandemic period of time, and in the most classical sense, once the epidemic is spread to multiple countries and the regions of the world, it is considered as a pandemic. So we are really in pandemic. Let me say something also. This talk is not only listed some technologies which can be used in this pandemic COVID-19, but it also be considered as an open research areas to solve this problem. So please give me your attention. Maybe you can find your entry, you can find your interest point, and we can work upon like papers, like books, like patent. I have till now 2 patents, and I have also 4 papers in COVID-19, and we are editing some books with my colleagues under my group, Scientific Innovation Research Group. So I invite all of you, if you want to work with me under this umbrella. We have a lot of professors from all around the world. So welcome if you want that to work with me. Now, let me give some background about the pandemic COVID-19 and what technology will do. So, pandemic, as you know, the COVID-19 pandemic technological applications are multiplying in the attempt to control this situation. Treatment patients in an effective way and facilitate the efforts of overworked healthcare workers while developing a new vaccines. Because till now we don't have approved vaccine till now. I think, for my opinion, we need to use these technologies. I think this will good help to avoid COVID-19. So we need, as a government, to think more and more about these technologies. So what we need to know is how difficult technologies, different technologies domains are helping to fight against these pandemic diseases by means of innovation applications. Also, we will highlight on the main legal and regulatory challenges, but also on the key ethical dilemmas that various uses of these technologies pose when applied the public health emergency context, such as the current one. In addition, scan of the technological horizon of the context COVID-19 indicates that technology itself cannot replace, we can say that, cannot replace or making up other public policy measures, but it does have an increasingly critical role play in emergency response. So let me start to talk about new technologies and how to control the situation. So let me start to talk about that. Uh, the first one is artificial intelligence. So please, you can watch this video. So you can you can say that the international community is currently focused on the novel coronavirus called COVID-19 pandemic. First identified in China, as we know. As it spreads, rising fears of the world lockdown, international organizations and the scientists have been using artificial intelligence to track the pandemic in real time. So, as to be able to predict where is the virus might appear next and develop an effective response. You can imagine that the warnings about the novel coronavirus spreads into China were raised by artificial intelligence systems before official information about the epidemic was released by international organizations. You can imagine that. And a healthy monitoring startup currently predict the spread of COVID-19 using natural language processing (NLP) and machine learning (ML). But the important question is, how can the technology be used to make this type of the global health emergency without undermining the protection of the fundamental values and human rights? So, if we want to answer this question, let me talk about the potential impacts and development of artificial intelligence. As you know, in the case of COVID-19, artificial intelligence has used mainly to help detect whether people have novel coronavirus through the detection of the visual sign of COVID-19 on images from the computerized tomography CT lung scan, which used to monitor in real time. And also we can use it to detect the change in the body temperature through the use of wearable sensors and to provide an open source data platform to track the spread of disease. So as I said, this is research point. So we can, every point now we can use it as a working, we can produce a papers and patents and a lot. Also, we can say artificial intelligence can process vast amount of understanding text data to predict number of potential new cases by area and which type of population will the most at risk. It's very, very important. So we can work up in some areas and we can say these areas maybe have a heavy infected of the COVID-19. By using artificial intelligence, we can solve this problem. In addition, artificial intelligence also can deliver medical supplies by drones, disinfect patients' rooms, and scan approved drug databases. Very, very important for medicines that might also work against COVID-19. Also, artificial intelligence technology have been utilized to come up with the new molecules that could serve as a potential medications or even accelerate the time taken to predict the virus's RNA secondary structure. Very, very important also. Moreover, certain artificial intelligence application can also detect fake news about the diseases by applying machine learning techniques for mining social media and the information, and can track down words that are essentially or alarming and identifying which online sources are deemed authoritative for fighting what is has been called is infodemic. So very, very important, because now we are working on social media, and every information now uh, we can take it from the social media. So by using artificial intelligence, we can track this information. Once more, artificial intelligence application such as use of the facial recognition to track people not wearing masks in public, very, very important, or artificial intelligence based fever detection systems, as well as the processing of data collect on the digital platform and the mobile network to track people's movement. Very, very, very important. And this is what it did and what it used in China, and because the China used this is new technologies like artificial intelligence, so they are avoided against this pandemic COVID-19. But we need to consider what about the anticipatory policy making. As a governance, as we know, systems, the WHO has limited enforced tools, and its monitoring system is fully depending on the state's willingness to meet their good faith reporting requirement. However, artificial intelligence technology have a potential to challenge the state's monopoly of the information control. The WHO is right to receive reports from the non-state resources, particularly if and when those reports contradict reports provided by the state. So artificial intelligence techniques is very, very, very important to use against COVID-19. Now, let me give some example about machine learning. We can use it when we're working to avoid COVID-19 by artificial intelligence, or in deep. If we talk in deep, so in deep, it's a machine learning. So let me give some introduction about that. So the umbrella is artificial intelligence, as you know. So machine learning is a part of this artificial intelligence, because you can use the machine learning techniques to teach the machine how to work. After that, we can go in deep. Now we're using the deep learning. It's a special case from the neural network. So we can use a particle swarm optimization, PSO. So PSO is developed by Kendi and Rupert in 1995. It's an evolutionary computation. We can use it, this swarm, to select features of the patient who has infected by the COVID-19. So if we talk about the algorithm of the particle swarm optimization, you can find its work in d dimension positions. So particle I, maybe it iterates in t, and it can represent as x, and using this equation. So this is the positions of the particles, and it's from xi1 at iteration t through the xid at iteration t, while the velocity of the rate of position change for the particle I at iteration t is given by this equation. This is the velocity of the particle. So I don't want to give more information about that, but you can, if you want to more information about it, so you can contact with me. Also, all particles have a fitness value, which are evaluated based on the fitness function. So this fitness function, this what I use in my papers, is the fitness function to test or evaluate the particle we'll use in the next generation. So when we use these techniques and apply it in the COVID-19, so we can use the particle as a patient. if we want to represent as a patient, and every particle for this instance, maybe it has a values. This is a features of this patient, or this is a status. So we apply these techniques to extract the features of the patients who will infected, or maybe not affected. So we need to find the features, the good features, to decide which features decide that patients infected with the COVID-19. So this is we need to apply these equations for the velocity, and this we need to apply to change the positions of the particle, and after that we made it more iteration until after they finish, and we can return the good features we will use in these techniques. The second techniques, it's used as a classifier. So I used before the hidden naive bias. It's very, very, very good techniques we can use as a classifier. So we need to use it as this side, this patient is infected or not. Okay, so after we extract the features by using PSO, we can apply the hidden naive bias as a classifier to decide this patient is infected or not. So also, as you can see, this technique is proposed by the John in and extended version from the naive bias. I know you know the techniques of naive bias, but this is the new techniques and the developed techniques from the naive bias. It's called hidden naive bias, which relax the condition. It's because it's dependent on the probability. Okay, so HNP classifier creates additional layers. As you can see, this is additional layers called AHP1 to AHPM, which represent as a parent of the each attribute. This hidden parent compounds of influences from all the other attributes. From this figure, the structure of HNB in the structure C, you can see this is the C is a class node and is also parent of all attributes from A1 to EM. Each attribute called AI has hidden parent called AHPI, is represented by the dashed line like this. Okay, and it's to differentiate it from the regular arcs. Assume that we have, let me go here, assume that we represent the instance by E. It's called from A1 to AN. This is the situations or the instance where AI is the value of A capital I. The joint distribution represented by HNB defined by these equations. Okay, where the BI condition by AHPI and the classifier is defined by this equation summation from Wij star P, the distribution, joint distribution, P, AI conditional, AJ with classifier. So we need to compute the weights, okay, for it's where I and J it's equal 1 to N, where I is not equal to J. It's computed from the condition mutual information between the two attribute AI and AJ, which is defined by these equations, where the IP is called the condition mutual information given by these equations. So the classifier corresponded to the HNP defined by using these equations. So we need to find the maximum arg maximum over C, the classifier, for the PI, the probability of the P of the classifier, multiple of the P of I condition PHI by P and the classifier. So if you want more information about these techniques, and we have a lot, we can contact with me, and these used nowadays for in our papers to in COVID-19. Let us move to the second techniques, which is a called blockchain. So please, you can take a look of this video. So this video, it's how blockchain work. So as we know, COVID-19 highly infection nature, which means that there is a pressing need to find appropriate solution from the spreading up of detection virus carriers and the halts the spread of the virus to developing a new vaccine. So blockchain, as you know, has recently emerged as a key technology in the critical domain of pandemic management. So blockchain application could provide a robust, transparent, and a cheap means of facilitating effective decision making, and as a result, could lead to fast response during the emergencies of this kind. So we have the blockchain have a lot of uses like supply chain management, patient information sharing, online education, disaster relief, and the insurance. So it's now blockchain used in everywhere nowadays. But we are focused with the blockchain in the COVID-19. So in the context of pandemic, blockchain has the potential of the potential to become the integral part of the global response to coronavirus. That's by tracking the spread of diseases. Secondly, managing the insurance payments. Also, maintaining the sustainability of medical supply chain, and finally, we can use it in donation tracking pathways. So blockchain is now very important technique, so we can use it, and every point I listed now, it's considered a good point we can work up on. So therefore, blockchain application could monitor diseases over time by creating ledgers. Something is called ledgers that are both sources and update 100 of the time per day. So in addition, using blockchain can also improve the diagnostic accuracy and the treatment effectiveness. Also, streamline the rapid isolation of the clusters of cases. Also, we can use it for tracking drug supply chain and the medical supplies management and medical data. Also, we can use a blockchain and to identify diseases system. We can identify diseases symptoms patterns. Also, in order for application of blockchain to bring added value to public health emergency context compared with the traditional monitoring mechanism, it should make extensive use of the encryption characteristics combined with the decentralized peer-to-peer management. Very important. So as to we can use also it to improve the security, regulatory, and compliance, durability, selectivity, privacy, and timing. So very, very important to use it nowadays. And it also, once more, it's very good point to working upon. But what is the potential impacts and the development of blockchain? By using encrypted data and recorded to track the transactions, several blockchain technologies have been launched to solve the challenges posed by the COVID-19 crisis and bring innovation solutions to the problem associated with the measure distribution. As well as blockchain can offer a platform based on the enable users to trace the demand and the supply chain of medical supplies. Also, it can give the shortage of facial masks and to rise to challenges associated with the management allocated to donation of relief supplies. Also, another blockchain-based applications, it can help the government agency to track the patients and suspect new cases. Very, very important. Also allows doctors to analyze patients, symptoms, monitoring diagnostic data in the real time. And finally, it can integrating the patient medical history. So we have some consideration we can talk about. It's called anticipatory policy making. So a blockchain, as you know, is still early. It's now still in the early stage of the development. So several legal questions may have yet to be answered. What is this? What are these questions? First one is, who should be in charge of the data? Very, very important. So this is a point you can work upon. You can produce a lot of papers at this point. Also, who should be able to access this data? Very, very important question. Who monitors the blockchain? Very, very important question. How should patients and public health organizations be identified in their databases? Finally, where are servers located? Very important. And what type of digital and physical controls exist? So, because as we know, the data is sensitive, because this is a medical data. So we need to know the location, and we need to hide this data from the others, because even hide from the governance. But now we need to make to find a solution for these challenges. So the very important question is, will that affect the blockchain application as well? Very, very important. So now let me go to this last technique. We can talk about it now today. This is Internet of Things. So please, you can watch this video. So as you can see in this video, we can define the Internet of Things is based healthcare systems is also useful for the proper monitoring of COVID-19 patients. So by employing the interconnected networks, this technology helps to increase patient satisfaction and reduce the readmission rate in the hospital. Very, very important now, because you can go to the hospital, you are in the good health. After that, you come back from the health, and you want to go to the check, and you don't affected by the COVID-19, and when you're back, you infected by COVID-19. So we don't need to go to the hospital. By using this technology, it helps us for the infected patients of the COVID-19 to define the symptoms and to provide a better treatment rapidly. It's also useful for patients, physicians, surgeons, and the hospital management system as well. In straightforward words, the Internet of Things is a system of interconnected devices complete with all network elements such as hardware, software, and connectivity of the network and any other requirement electronics, which means that ultimately makes them responsive by supporting in data collection. Very, very, very important techniques. But we need to know more about the vision and architecture of COVID-19 of our Internet of Things. As you know, Internet of Things has become one of the hottest research topic nowadays. Internet of Things also applications will affect many aspects of the people's lives, bringing about the many convenience. But there are three main visions of Internet of Things based on things, internet, and semantic perspective. So when you go to the first one, is called the things vision. This vision provides the perspective that the all real physical objects, maybe it's sensors, maybe mobile, laptop, every device can connect it and attach together in the real world information from them. Very, very important. This vision provides the base of the integration of all things to collaborate together. Very, very important. And this is very important point you can work upon. The second vision is internet vision. So this vision provides the perspective that all devices can be connected through the internet and it can be described as a smart object. So we can differentiate between the smart object and the internet of things object. So smart object can work smartly, okay, by using artificial intelligence and something like that. But Internet of Things is covered that because I can access all devices and all devices can connect it together at any time, anywhere. This can be accomplished by using unique IP. That's why we are moving from IP version 4 to IP version 5 because nowadays everything connected, but in the future nothing can connect. Everything will connect together. Maybe, for example, you can think that, but it's now happened. Your refrigerators maybe call the shopping and he said the milk it's I don't have the milk now, please you can send me milk. See, and then you can find someone, he's knocking your door and you can say who's your, and he said your refrigerator said that you don't have milk now. See, it's very, very, very imagination. So you can imagine tomorrow it's really a new future of the technologies. So now let's move to the third vision of the Internet of Things is called semantic vision. Semantic vision is to provide the perspective that all data collected from the queries of sensors need to be analyzed, because now we have a lot of data nowadays. This data is very, very huge data. So we need to, it's called data, not information. So we need to make analyze this data to retain information. It's called, by using this vision, it's called semantic vision. That's why nowadays we have a new branch, it's called big data. So this vision provides the base of semantic integration through the use of semantic middleware. But what is IoT architecture? Implementing of IoT requires an open architecture based on several layers. So some researchers use third layers, some using a 4 layer, some using a 5 layers. It depends on. So we don't have a standard architecture of Internet of Things. So this is your time to put your fingerprint to give architecture of Internet of Things. Very, very important. So when you start from the bottom to up, you can see the perception layer. This perception layer, if this is a base layer, this is a devices, this is the sensor, this is the mobile, something like that. This is the RFID, GPS, something like that. Also, this second layer is a network layer. We can communicate each other by using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and so on. So every point we can work upon. The last one, because I am talk about the primarily architectures, its application layer. We can talk about the how this data it's go through the network and the move and the transfer data between the applications and the perception layer through the internet, through the network layer, such as a QAP, MQTT, something like that. So all these layers can work, have a lot of points you can work upon. Very, very important. So let me give some potential of the impacts and development of Internet of Things. And so by employing the proposed IoT in the COVID-19 pandemic, because it's really now it's used in the China and the other countries. So the effective of tracing of the patients by as well as the suspicious cases can be completely assured by using Internet of Things. But what the significant application of the Internet of Things for COVID-19 pandemic? So Internet of Things uses a large number, as we said, of interconnected devices to create a smart network. Very, very important for the proper health management systems. It alerts and track any types of diseases to improve the safety of the patients. In addition, it's digitally capture the data and the information of the patient without any human interaction. Very, very important. This data is also helpful for appropriate decision for the decision makers. Very, very important. So let us discuss a brief measure of application of IoT for the COVID-19 and something like transparent COVID-19 treatment. This is patient can use it without any interaction between the human and the devices. The other one is a wireless health network. It's used to identify COVID-19 patients. In this type of the applications, various authentic application can be installed into your smartphone, which can make identification procedures smoother and more fruitful. And also the rapid COVID-19 screening, and also connected all medical tools and devices through the Internet of Things. So we need also to know the anticipatory policy making. As you can see in this figure, the primary point concerned while employing the Internet of Things in the presence of pandemic situation COVID-19 is it about the security and the privacy of data, which is a unique and imperative from the patient health point overview. The second thing is about the care or to take while integrating data network among the devices involved and the protocols. So very, very important. So as you can see in this figure, this can summarize the issues and the challenge in implementing Internet of Things for COVID-19. So we can use the COVID-19 in several have several issues and the future aspects. If we can use Internet of Things in COVID-19, we can use this branch in safety, security, privacy of the data. And also we can work upon the challenges in the network integration. If we can work upon this branch, the safety and security of privacy data, we can work on the misuse of patient data. Someone maybe alter the data of the patient. Maybe someone in the middle cut this the connection and modify the data and make let the system make another decision, and it is fake. So it's very, very important. Also, the cybercrime cases, very, very important point. Also, we can work upon. If we can work on the other hand, the network integration, the process of data aggregation. That's why all these points we can work upon during this pandemic period of time. Let me give some conclusion. The healthcare organizations, as we know, are urgent used need for the decision-making technologies to handle this virus and help them in getting a proper suggestion in real time to avoid its spread. Very, very important, really. So healthcare deliver require the support of new technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, Internet of Things, nanotechnology, and others from the new technologies. Really very, very important to, we need to use it to fight and look ahead against the new diseases. These technologies help us to increase the patient satisfaction and reduce the readmission rate in the hospital. The results driven from the disease technology are used for the proper screen, analyzing, prediction, and tracking of the current patients and the quick and the likely future patients. The significant applications are applied to track data of the confirmed, recovered, and death cases. Very, very important. Also, we need to think about the use of these technologies and justification, because all these techniques, it's not compatible in now for the situation nowadays. So it's need to make a justification to make it like to make it compatible with this situation, and because we use tiny devices, and also we can use techniques it's used to work on the device like computers, but now we need to use artificial intelligence techniques to employ on the tiny device. So we need to make a justification for these techniques, like artificial intelligence techniques and blockchain, something like that, and how can use it in the tiny device. Very, very important to work upon. And we need to know who is the benefits from that, who is will suffer. It's very, 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 very important question, at least for me. So as we need to consider the potential of weaponizations, some of these technologies, and or how it can be used to repress and oppress the population, and we need to think about what action we can take now to prevent this pandemic COVID-19. And I hope to ask Allah to pray to Allah to remove this virus, because I'm really infected by this virus, and it was a very, very bad time for me. It's really because, you know, for me, I'm not think that there is something called COVID-19. That's why I'm not wearing the mask. I'm not using the spray, something like that. But when I infected, I feel, because I go to the hospital and I can't breathe. And something, it's very, very, very bad. So we need to work as a scientist. This is now our mission. We need, that's what Allah said to work. This is very, very important. This is now our mission. We need to work hard to find the solutions, because as you say, as you can see, they are not, they can't find the vaccine. So because we don't know how can to produce a vaccine, but we know the technology. So we need to use our expertise to experience to produce a good solution for this COVID-19. And thanks so much to hear me, and really I'm so happy to participate with you all, and this is also my connection. And if you want, I invite all of you, if you want to work with me under my SEARCH group, Scientific Innovation Research Group, or my university. So this is all information, and you all contact, you can contact with me anytime, anytime, maybe day and night, I'm with you. Thanks so much. And I hope this presentation is useful, and you can find a new point you can work upon, maybe you alone or work with me under the search. Thanks so much for listening. all of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for virtual journey of Beni Suef University, Egypt, and also enlightening our participant on COVID-19 pandemic and use of technology, especially AI, blockchain, Internet of Things, Internet of Vision, in its preparation. Now it's time for question and answer. I invite the convener of this program, Dr. Sharik, to take up the question and also give concluding remark of today's session.
Uh, Thank you, Professor Abu Sufyan. I think it was a very informative session in the sense that uh, most of us in the conference here, Dr. Ahmed, are from the pharmaceutical sciences. So 70% of us are from the health area, but all of us are very excited to see and to explore that the intersection of technology, health into AI. That is what the future is, where the two disciplines are combining and we leverage the power of each of them for the benefit of the mankind. So you very nicely laid out the entire spectrum of that collaboration, right from blockchains to Internet of Things and everything, which is a possibility. And maybe and what has happened to me, as I see, is this pandemic has really accelerated that area of research, because there is urgency now with regards to finding a cure, better patient management, contact tracing. So all of these technologies have been accelerated, and I think we all should be a part of this exciting area of research. So I was asking yesterday also to Dr. Saida, who had come in here from IBM Watson Group, and she was working on assistant, AI into assisting physicians as such. So how far do you see these technologies implemented into large scale, and what do you think are the challenges that we need to overcome to do a full scale implementation in the near future, so that and as I see and when I talk to virologists, they say this is not the first pandemic and will not be the last pandemic. So we need to be better prepared for something like this in future as well. So your thoughts on this, Dr. Ahmed?
Okay, really good question. Thank you so much, Dr. Hossein, for the question. So I said, these technologies, it's really not compatible nowadays. So we need to work upon, because the techniques of machine learning, it's heavy to use it in the tiny device. That's why we need to justify the techniques of machine learning and deep learning. That's why we need to use deep learning. And also, this deep learning is a new version of neural network, but we need to make a justification in the coding and how to use it in the tiny device like Internet of Things devices and sensors, like heartbeat, like how to implement on the maybe diabetes, maybe brain, something like that. So how to use these techniques and employ in this tiny device. This is very, very, very big challenge. That's why we need to work, and also we need to work upon the devices itself, because we need a tiny device and at the same time have a brain like processor, like RAMs, because it's nowadays it's a small memory, limited memory and limited processing and something like that. That's why we need to make it it's still tiny and have a good processing and memory. That's why it's another work. This is a new challenge. So we need to justify the techniques of artificial intelligence and justify and improve these devices, like computers, like mobile, something like that. So we need to work up on these challenges.
Thank you so
That's why.
much.
Thanks so
So,
much.
so when I'm talking on behalf of our faculty in health sciences, primarily into pharmacy, so what do you think are good areas of collaboration and working together that you would suggest working with area that we are into?
Very, very, very good question, because as you know, the dean of the faculty of pharmacy here in my university, she's asking also me how to make this collaboration, because I know this is this is your area now. and we're thinking about what is the techniques we can use between the pharmacy and the AI. We're thinking, I will give you some ideas how to make injection from outside, how to feel, to send some information about the patient. How can you use it in the supply chain of the pharmacy, and how can I know the lack of medicine, something like that, in this area? We can use it, and how to avoid the steal of the medicines. It's very, very important, because the company of medicines maybe produce a lot of the medicines and product, and we can find it in the market. How can avoid this? Very important. At this moment, we can use the blockchain. So we have a lot of midpoint we can work upon. So we can discuss it in the future between me and you, if you are interested, and we can make a collaboration between you and the dean of the faculty of pharmacy here in my university.
Fantastic. Yes, yes.
Inshallah.
I think as we move forward in the future
Yeah.
is very much interdisciplinary. So we
Yeah.
will have to mix these two different sciences and see how best we can leverage the technology for ensuring the health of people, essentially. And I think this pandemic has really showed that we need to fast track that effort, essentially.
Exactly.
Amongst the
Yes.
participants, if you have any questions, you can post it on chat box, and I'll be more than happy to pass it over to Dr. Ahmed as such. Uh, we have one of my friend Mubashir Masoodi, who is joining all the way from Kashmir. I would like to unmute him and request him if he has any comments. Dr. Mubashir. Dr. Mubashir, are you there? Yes, Dr. Mubashir.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Am I
salam.
audible to you, sir?
You're perfectly audible, Mubashir. How are you? How's everything?
Oh, let me congratulate you, Dr. Sharik, for this wonderful workshop that you're going to conduct. You and your team deserve, hats off to you for this job. I'm sorry that I couldn't join
Thank you.
yesterday due to some personal problems.
Not a problem.
Well, it was nice to hear about the talk of Dr. Ahmed, and I believe that this technology of artificial intelligence is going to, pay for so many new things in the medical field, especially in the pharmaceuticals. The thing is how we integrate it. We need to look into that. And I congratulate you also. I hope that we will be having nice sessions ahead also.
Thank you so much.
Many, many congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you
By
so
the
much.
way, Mubashir Ahmed, I'm very impressed by your DP out here photograph. I don't know if this is your son's DP or is your DP, but it appears very interesting. Maybe we can take
Well,
it.
this is my son's. He just plays with it. So I don't know what he has kept there. I'm sorry for that if it's bothering you right now.
Not a problem. It's very interesting. Good. Thank you, Mubashir.
Thank you
So
so much.
for the
Thank you.
benefit of faculty, Dr. Mubashir, we both of them were colleagues when we were doing our masters a long time back, and he's right now as a faculty in Kashmir University, a very bright and talented faculty. He's done his postdoc from US and a well-known.
MashaAllah.
Good.
MashaAllah.
Anything else would you like to ask Dr. Ahmed? Is he here? In terms of any clarification, any questions, any collaborative questions, anything like that?
Yes, I invite all of you. If you want to collaborate, I'm with you. But Dr. Sharik,
Yes.
Sharik, we will work. It's very, very important to work together.
Yes.
And I will talk with the president, the dean of the pharmacy, and she
Definitely,
will
definitely.
find the appropriate time and to make maybe a Zoom meeting, and we can.
Definitely.
Yes, exactly.
We can have her bring here to a forum like this, and where she can talk about her experience into Egypt. And
Inshallah.
we can have collaborative work, I think.
Inshallah.
Good. If there is nothing, if no one has any other questions further, Professor Abu Sufyan, do you have any comments, any questions you would like to ask? What has happened, Dr. Ahmed, that we are all going through this webinar and Zoom fatigue. So, the whole day we are on the screen with students. At the end of the day now we have this FDP. So I'm sure sometimes or the other, we get this kind of fatigue as teachers also, essentially. So that is there. Professor Abu Sufyan, any questions from your end? He just got disconnected. Okay. Professor Sufyan?
Hello.
Yes. Sufyan, do you have any questions for Dr. Ahmed, essentially?
So my question is, like, as a healthcare professional, if you want to start with this new technology like AI, blockchain, machine learning, so is there any prerequisite for that, or to how to start with, means what could be the first step to start with those technology?
Okay, very good question. Really, very good question. Mathematics. If you want to work on the machine learning techniques, we need to know little bit, no more, but little bit mathematics, because it's different between. Because I think because you are from your experiences from pharmacy, you don't need that, but you need to know how to programming these techniques just only for using. But if you sometimes we need to adapt these techniques, so you need to know a little bit, but not little bit. It's very high mathematics techniques. So you need to learn mathematics, but it's okay. This is my work, and you can find the solution. You have a problem, and you can tell me I want to do something like something like that, and I will adapt these techniques in your work. This is my work. This is a collaboration now. But if you want to know by yourself, you need to know programming language like Python. You need to know a little bit about mathematics. After that, you can work by yourself. You don't need me.
Okay.
Professor Abu Sufyan, anyway, is a maths wizard, so no excuse in that. And we are our department of computer engineering is very close by. They are his neighbors, so maybe he'll learn Python very quickly. Not a problem at all. I think
no, but Dr. Abu Sufyan, he also I invite him to work with me. I like.
we'll all come to Egypt hopefully. This whole FDP team out here.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much. So I think to your question, Professor Abu Sufyan, essentially is that we need really, as health sciences who wants to work into this disciplinary area, we don't need to be experts into that, but at least to a certain extent, we need to know what is the technology as such, at least to a certain level, what can be done, what cannot be done. So at least when we are interacting with these scientists who are working in AI, they understand the problem and they get a solution for it. See, what happens a lot of time is, people in engineering technique, they are very good at the back-end technology, they are very good at programming, they are very good at providing solutions. But those questions which are relevant to solve, that typically comes from the people who are working in those areas. So you formulate that question and say, okay, this is not the question. Can AI help me with this, essentially? So that is where the expertise of health sciences and engineering and artificial engineering kind of merge together. And this is this whole concept of multidisciplinary or multi-PI kind of a work, where your expertise is there and you understand a little bit of AI and machine learning, and you say, okay, this is the problem that we have. This is what we are working on. Can AI help me with this? We are working on discovering new drugs for COVID, and we want to look at what are the existing drugs. Can we repurpose them? Can AI help me with that? Can AI help me look at what is the data around, and can AI come with some suggestions on that? Things like that. So I think that is the key here, essentially, that we understand the potential of what the technology can do, and we formulate that question to these experts who how are working at the back end in terms of the technical aspect of it. So I think they cannot work in silos without us giving the problem to them, and we cannot work without them, because ultimately that technical solution has to come from them. So I think that's a golden handshake that we need to have, essentially.
Exactly.
Great. So
Absolutely.
if there are no any further, what Afrin Khan is asking, what are the metrics we can rely on in multi-classification problem? I don't know if you would be able
Metrics
to answer
we
that.
can really, what are the metrics we can rely on the multi-classification problem? Okay. No, this is I can't understand what is the point, but we
Afrin,
were working about, we talk about he asking about in deep something like multi-classification. This is something
yeah,
in deep. So
you
we
you
need,
you might you
you
might
can
want
contact with me.
yeah,
Yeah.
you might want contact with her, or you want to
Yes.
unmute yourself and ask it.
Yes.
You're free to
Because
do
really
that.
it's a very important problem. Yes, multi-classification is very important. Yes, because sometimes we know we need to know this patient is infected or not. This is not a problem as well. But when we talk about multi-classification, because we have missing, sometimes we have missing data, and we need to have a multi-classifying. So yes, this is very important, but this is in deep. So we can contact with me. We can talk more about this point.
Definitely, definitely. What we'll
Yeah,
do is we'll
yeah,
post your contact information on a group that we
yes,
have for FTP, and from
exactly.
there on, if people are interested into asking further questions on your work,
Yeah,
if they are willing to collaborate. See, the whole idea of bringing and setting up this whole FDP is to connect people who are working in that area, experts, and the faculty who
exactly,
are interested in the area. So
exactly,
it is basically connecting dots essentially, and that's the whole purpose of our setting up this FDP, so that we connect people and we start
inshallah,
what I call as a research conversation essentially from here onwards. So
inshallah.
if there's no further question, I would hand it over to Professor Abu Sufyan for closing of the day, and if there are any housekeeping uh, information or any announcement that you want to do, please go ahead and do that. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for comprehensively answering all the questions asked by our participant. And also
Thanks.
thanks to Dr. Sharik for giving concluding remark. Thank you all. Feedback and attendance link is already released in chat box. You all are requested to give feedback of the event. See you tomorrow for next exciting session. Thank you.
Yeah, so just I want to remind all the participants. So tomorrow we are having two young scientists that are coming in, who will be talking about a topic which is more closer to a heart in terms of drug discovery. So they are using computational techniques for discovering drugs and how they are using AI. So two young scientists, Dr. Amit Chaudhary and Dr. Vivek Patil, from a very interesting biotech company here in Pune, which has head office into Germany. So they'll be presenting some really cool stuff. I'm looking forward for that session also. So I hope you all will join there then tomorrow. Then see you tomorrow then. Okay. Thank you so much,
Inshallah,
Professor. Thank you
inshallah,
once again,
inshallah.
Dr. Ahmed. And
Thank you so
we look
much.
forward to meeting you in person soon. And we hope
Inshallah.
and pray and so the safety for you, your family, and the entire country and the entire humanity as such. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks so much. I hope to you soon, and I hope for everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks to Dr. Sufyan. Thanks to Dr. Ahmed. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Jazakallah
much.
khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.